飞达教育日前在加州大学尔湾分校成功举办了社团分享日活动，现场有近50个活跃的学生社团参与，涵盖了无人机领域、义工服务、心理健康、反毒品、中国文化、音乐教学、魔方等各个领域，不仅让同学家长们度过了一个难忘的父亲节，还展现了飞达教育与社区合作，促进学生发展和文化交流的不懈努力，提供了展示才艺和交流互动的平台，促进学生们的全面成长和社会责任感的培养。参与活动的来宾有近130位，会场营造出浓厚的节日氛围。活动由学生演奏的莫扎特小提琴曲拉开序幕，接下来有歌唱舞蹈节目，展现了孩子们的活泼可爱。飞达学生们的精彩表演赢得了台下观众的阵阵掌声。应邀前来参与的嘉宾回答了孩子们的提问，问题涉及美国大学教育问题、通货膨胀环境下的调整以及移民等议题，给孩子提供一个跟政府官员面对面的机会。
Often what happens in this country is you have these one-size-fits-all rules that are dictated from Washington, D.C. or even Sacramento, and they don't really mesh well with the local communities. And so what you need to do is fight back. You need to object to those rules. You need to go to Sacramento, Washington, and say, this is bad policy, we don't need it. And if they keep doing it, then you just need to change who your representative is, because your representative is trying to dictate to you what you should do in your own community. And one thing that I believe more than anything else is that local communities know far more what's better for their community than anybody who lives in Sacramento or Washington, D.C.
My colleagues and I really believe that we always put the children first, the children and parental rights. And so we want to make sure that children aren't what we call trapped by their zip code. We want to make sure that they have school choice, so that if they live in one zip code, they don't have to stay in that zip code for their education. They can move to another zip code. So that's a priority for us, is to make sure that children have options in their education, because we all know that children they have different needs and different education requirements. Another thing we want to make sure is that parental rights are not deteriorated. We want to make sure that parents are involved in decision making, that it's never okay to lie or deceive parents. And so we want to make sure that parents are always involved in their children's education, because we believe they always put their children first.
Fentanyl deaths are one of the number one causes of death in our young people in America, and from the age of 14 to the age of 40, it's probably the number one killer of our citizens. One of the things that we can do is make it stiffer penalties for those that are dealing with or using fentanyl, because the fact that the consequences for those that are peddling fentanyl aren't equal to the kind of damage it's doing to our citizens and our young people, because fentanyl is sometimes added into cocaine, methamphetamines, heroin, and marijuana even. And so our young people are using these illicit drugs not knowing that it's been poisoned by a substitute with fentanyl. And so the fact that those that are dealing with this or peddling in fentanyl, they need to face stronger penalties for messing with fentanyl, because it is sometimes so often it's not an overdose, it's actually a poisoning, because they don't know they're taking off-market pain pills or off-market antidepressants, or those that keep our students up at night, so they're studying hard, and they're buying it on the black market, but it's been cut and added fentanyl into it. So the fact is that that's a poisoning. That's not an overdose. That's a poisoning of our young people and our American citizens.
Ivy Max 在过去这些年，对学生、帮助学生，还有为这个社区都做了非常非常多的这个公益活动，做了很多这个奉献。然后尤其是在这个公益方面哈，对我们这个对华人社区，还有对这个UC 尔湾，就是这个加州大学尔湾的 campus 也是做了很多的这个奉献。那么 Ivy Max 在他的教育的这些项目中间哈，非常有创意， 一方面是帮助社会，另外一方面呢是让学生在这个长远未来，无论是在教育上还是在这个他的这个职业生涯上面，都会得到有持续性的帮助。所以就是今天看到这些学生的俱乐部，他们做的公益的活动也好，他们做的这个科技的这个项目也好，那我就觉得非常兴奋，因为以前我对跟这些有的俱乐部有过交集，所以今天看到他们的成果，然后他们获奖，所以感到非常的高兴和荣幸来到这里今天。
Yes, I think the thing that IVMax has helped me the most in was their essay writing workshops. So in particular, I had decent ideas for my essays, but my style of writing isn't very suited to tell a story. So meeting with the editors from IVMax helped me a lot with personalizing my essays and making it seem a lot more approachable. I think another thing that IVMax helped me a lot was their P2P philanthropy trips to Ningxia and Hunan. In particular, I went there for the peer-to-peer microfinance program, in which I was able to take the tools I learned about economics that I learned in class and apply them to the real world to help people with their economic situations.
这次活动呢，主要就是来庆祝父亲节，借着父亲节这个机会呢，来给孩子们一个展示的机会，一个让学生们呢，这学生社团展示一下他们平时所做的一些活动。另外呢，就是给孩子们提供一个机会，与市政府的一些人员呢进行一些沟通和交流，让孩子们呢参与一些时事，了解一些时事，同时呢，让孩子们呢能够与这个国际的一些话题呢能够结合起来，让他们更积极的去参与到一些时事和政治当中去。
飞达教育于2004年创立，凭借着丰富的经验、优秀的教师团队和卓越的教学资源，飞达教育在华人教育领域树立了良好的口碑，成为学生和家长们值得信赖的首选教育机构。中天中望采访报道。